Welcome back to another video, guys. I want to make a quick video about what to hyperburn. We have hyperburn coming in just a few days, and maybe it's a last second decision, but I just wanted to give you guys my opinion on how I would choose my hyperburn at different points in the game. Whether you're brand new or you're early game, maybe you want to start a new main, or you're an end game player. I'm just going to give you guys my quick opinion on how you can pick your hyperburn and make sure that you're playing a class that will make you have a fulfilling MapleStory experience. First thing I'm going to do is plug my channel. If you're not subscribed, you're trolling. You should subscribe. Second, I'm going to plug a few videos that I think are very useful in picking your hyperburn. The first one is this video, the class changes, so you know what changes are coming to classes. Because let's say you're coming back to the game after a long time and you don't really know 100% of what's going on. So this video will help you understand what classes are getting buffed, nerfed, quality of life changes, all that stuff. All these videos will be linked down below, by the way. Second is this hyperburning tier list, where I go pretty in depth with my friend about every single class and how it feels, how good it is, all that stuff. I think it's very, very, very useful as a tool to help you pick what class you want to play. And then third, it would be this one, best way to choose your main and server in MapleStory. I think this is a very, very good video as well. Again, they'll all be linked below. So the first group of people I want to address are the new players, people that are completely brand new to the game, and you're thinking about choosing your hyperburn for your main and you have no idea what to pick. Now, the biggest advice that I could give you, the best advice, is to play something that you think looks cool. So I'm not going to tell you play what's OP, play what you think you like, because that doesn't make any sense. If you're a new player, how do you even know what you like? You haven't experienced all the classes, right? And I'm not going to tell you like, oh, you should play every single class first and then choose your main, because that's a super long process and it's unrealistic. So I would literally do this. Go on the character selection screen, pick something that you think looks cool. Like if you think that the Kali aesthetic is nice, like you like how this character looks, play Kali. You think Mihail is cool, you like the armor and the sword and all that stuff, then play Mihail. Like something as simple as that. But if you want more information on what the classes exactly do and stuff like that, I would highly suggest looking it up on YouTube. Like look up bossing videos, training videos for a class. Like I would start off by almost just picking a color that you like. Like if you really like the color red and black, then I would be like, oh, Kayn is red and black, so let's go see what Kayn videos are about. And then you go watch Kayn bossing videos, Kayn mobbing videos. That's my advice to somebody who's completely brand new and you know nothing about the game, is I would literally do that. Oh, you see Pathfinder, like this like dark purple aesthetic, then I'd be like, oh, I really like this vibe. I'm gonna go see what Pathfinder skills look like. I'm gonna go see what the bossing is. Maybe I'll ask some streamers. You could always come to my stream, you could always come on a video and ask me, what do you think of a certain class and everything like that. The next group of people I want to give advice to for who to pick your main are people that play the game, like they already are playing, and maybe they're looking for a really strong boss mule or a second main or something like that. So what's really good about this upcoming winter patch is literally any class you want, anything you play will be fine as like a boss mule or a second main or as a hyperburn or just some sort of character on your account that could do bosses and you can have fun on. Literally any class. So you don't have to worry about being like, oh, do I really want to play Kaiser or something? Like I heard it was unplayable. Guys, like you can play it if you want to play it. It doesn't matter. Kinesis, like even if somebody's like, oh, this isn't super strong in the meta right now, none of that matters. Meta only matters in the hyper endgame. You have to always remember that. The meta only matters really in the hyper endgame. Everything else is perfectly viable and you could accomplish so much with every single class in the whole game. So that's like a quick reassurance, is you don't have to worry about playing the quote unquote right class in terms of like damage output or anything like that. You could just play whatever you want if it's a second main or hyperburn. So again, it goes back to my previous point with picking something that you think you might enjoy. Since you're already like kind of experienced with the game, you probably know a little bit more than the average new player. So pick something that you think is interesting and would fit your playstyle. So let's say you're a Mercedes player. I usually would recommend it if somebody likes Mercedes, maybe you could consider playing Xenon, or maybe you can consider playing Nightwalker, classes that have kind of similar playstyles. Or like Cadena, for example. The next thing that I want to do is I want to speed run my thoughts on every single class just in case. So if you guys are curious what I think about every single class, I'm going to speed run just what I think about every single one and some of the first things that come to mind. Angelic Buster has a lot of music, is very pink, very flashy, low-key underrated class, does a lot of damage, short cooldown burst, so you're always doing something, really good iframes, very fast flash jump, and has a lot of super stance. Adele has micromanaging, training. Damage isn't too crazy, but good enough. Very, very beautifully animated. Probably has the best BGM for your burst in the whole game and has very iconic voice lines. Aran, this is getting remastered. All I think of when I hear Aran is ha ha hoo ha ha hoo hoo ha ha, because Aran just makes that sound whenever they boss. So that's all I think of. Ha hoo hoo ha ha hoo hoo ha. Arc, super fun in Spectre mode, boring as hell not in Spectre mode. Arc is a class that changes between like something called Spectre mode, and they like have different sets of attacks and stuff like that. I think the class is OP. Has really good support, has a lot of really good 2-minute burst damage. Battle Mage, the best TP in the game. That's like what they always say. Has a really, really good TP, really, really good movement. Support got nerfed, but its solo damage is still good enough, I guess. But it did get nerfed, so L. Bishop, still one of the most broken classes in the whole game, despite the nerfs. Doesn't really matter. It's still super broken, and you would want to be in a party. You're going to be accepted into a lot of parties as a Bishop regardless. So if you want to make friends, quote unquote friends, because they just want your Bishop buffs, then play Bishop. DB, super fun, has very low cooldown, satisfying skills like Blades of Destiny and Blade Tornado. Has good iframes, has good movement, very satisfying quick burst. I would highly recommend this class. Blaster, really, really, really hard to get into, but once you learn it, is actually very fun, but very hard to get into. You're definitely going to need to read guides on this class. And the mobbing below 260 is dog shit. Blaze Wizard, honestly, this is an 07 class. This is an 07 class. Support got nerfed and their damage is like whatever, but who cares? I mean, if you like fireballs and you like a lot of fire, then you play Blaze Wizard. Also needs better movement. Bowmaster, brain dead, super easy. Hold down one button, pop a few buffs, and kill the boss. Gets a massive buff next patch. Buck zooms around the map super quickly, so it's very fun and satisfying. Has a lot of blue, so if you like the color blue, play this class. Gets a nice buff next patch too. Cadena has a lot of like red/pink colors. Is a combo class, so if you don't mind like high-ish APM, then you should play this class. Has really good damage though. Cannon Master, I hate training this thing up to 260. It's completely miserable to train, but has very short cooldown burst, so it feels very fun to play. Best voice lines in the whole game. Corsair, massive buff next patch. Also has a lot of potential because their 6 job is not fully developed yet. Very fun to glide on this class, and has a lot of different skills that do a lot of different things, so it feels like you're doing a lot. Dark Knight getting a massive buff next patch. If you like the colors purple and red and black, you should play this class. Class also can't die, so if you have no hands, definitely play it. Dawn Warrior, absolutely brain dead class, one of the easiest in the whole game. Does no damage off burst. Demon Avenger, giga consistent damage, super OP class. If you want a class that has a really high ceiling, then you should play this one, because if you get all of the required setup for this class, it does a stupid amount of damage, but it also gets one-shotted by like everything. So it's super high risk, high reward. Demon Slayer, probably the most broken class in the whole game, because you can TP farm and live a normal balanced life while still getting to 290. Evan, high APM, but pretty fun. I like playing it myself. Has a pretty fast TP actually, and brain dead training. Fire Poison feels good once you get stronger, but feels like garbage once you're early game. But if you get really strong on this class, it does feel really good. Very short cooldown, satisfying skills with Dot Punisher and Poison Nova. Has no burst though. Hayato, getting a really good buff next patch. I would say it's like hard to get into to play it properly. Like it can feel clunky at first, but once you learn it, it's very, very satisfying to play and has a lot of damage. Also has lifesteal, so it makes it pretty convenient all the time. Hero, I think it's brain dead. Has good 2-minute burst, but it's just so simple, so boring to play, to be honest with you. Ho Young, one of the most beautifully animated classes in this game. Very fun voice lines, very fun to play. Has a lot of skill expression and very good damage too. Another like highly recommended class that I like. IL, honestly, I just hate this class. It has like no damage, I feel. Again, I don't know if I'm just dumb or something, but my IL does no damage. I don't like Timing Infinity. If you really like white and blue, then definitely play this class. Ilium, one of the most underrated classes. Very good damage, very good party support, very good movement, brain dead training. Kane, very strong class, does a lot of damage. Solid 90-second and 3-minute burst. Very edgy, very, very edgy. If you like the edgy class, play Kane. Kana, solo damage is good. Party contribution is not that good. Very beautifully animated though. If you like the, I don't even know how to describe it, like ink painting-esque aesthetic, then definitely play it. Kaiser, consistent damage, very low burst. You're gonna get made fun of if you play this, to be honest with you. Kali, very beautifully animated. Combo class, very spammy, but is gonna get a massive buff next patch. I like this class a lot. Kinesis, getting really good quality of life next patch. Fun animations with the telekinetic powers. If you like that kind of stuff, play it. Lara, big buff next patch, beautifully animated. A lot of micromanaging with replacing summons and buffing yourself. So if you don't want to do that, then don't play it. Lumi does look cool. The class looks really cool. Very brain dead training. Bossing is good until you get to endgame. Lin, extremely consistent damage. Very nice looking skills. Very beautifully animated origin in my opinion. And has an insane amount of healing and shielding for the party. Marksman, good 2-minute burst that lasts for a while. Very brain dead training. Really easy to one-shot with. Very, very easy to play. Super brain dead class. Mechanic, your iframe while you're bursting, so you're super safe. Underrated movement on this class. It has surprisingly good movement. You might not think it is because it's like a bucket of bolts, but it actually moves pretty fast. But I just hate the explosion mechanical aesthetic, so it's not for me. But if you like that kind of stuff, then it's for you. Mercedes, super fat burst, but off burst that feels like it does nothing and it feels miserable to play. Very, very good movement and underrated party support. Mihail, you could like never die on this class. You're pretty much like perma iframed. If you like the color yellow, definitely play it. Good damage too, getting a good buffs next patch. And it has a unique skill that makes it so that you don't get damage reduction on targets that are higher level than you. So you can clear bosses really early on this class if you really want to try it. Night Lord feels miserable to play off burst and is only really fun once you're like late to end game, to be honest with you. Nightwalker, OP as hell, super lazy training, a lot of consistent damage, a lot of burst damage, just OP-ass class. Paladin, play this class if you have a friend. If you don't have a friend, don't play this class. If you like the color yellow, you could play it, sure, but it's definitely one of those like duo type classes. Pathfinder, if you like the color purple, play it. I think this is an underrated class because it's overall pretty good at everything. Has good support, good enough movement, good enough consistent damage, good enough burst. It's like an all-arounder class. When I think of like a class that's all around good at everything, I think of Pathfinder. Phantom, underrated movement, pretty high skill expression on this class, but the damage isn't too high, so keep that in mind. But if you want to play a fun class, Phantom is super fun to play. But if you care about damage, like that's the only thing you care about, then don't play this. Shade getting remastered, 1-minute burst cooldown, so you're always going to be doing a lot. Good support too in party, very beautifully animated. Shadower, if you like micromanaging, you have a lot of weaving to do, like consistent APM, then this is for you. Very good consistent damage and a very, very strong iframe. The best dark side in the whole game too. Thunderbreaker, good movement, spammy class. You're going to be spamming like 2 buttons like constantly. Very, very spammy class. But if you like sharks and whales and water, then play this. Wild Hunter, I hate to say it, guys, but like if you all have been watching me for a long time, you know how much I hate this class. But realistically though, like if for some reason you like playing it, go for it. It's not a bad class necessarily. Like you can still contribute to parties and stuff like that. And bro, who am I kidding, bro? Don't play this shit. Wind Archer, if you like the color green and purple because of like the trifling wind has some purple in there, play it. Super brain dead, very, very easy to play as well, and has super high survivability. Xenon, another class that's similar to Night Lord. I feel like it feels like shit until you get later into the game. Once you get Aurora and you're really strong. Very, very good burst, very good consistent damage, even after burst, to be honest with you. And then Zero, extremely underrated class. Going to be one of the best next patch. Very good support, super consistent damage, very, very good class. So that's like my first impression, like first things that I think about for every single class. Maybe this helped you out, or maybe I'm just yapping and I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. So you let me know. And then the last group I want to talk to about is if you're hyperburning just for like end game progression, like you don't really care about what you play, then honestly, you already know what to hyperburn. I don't have to tell you. And then if you got to this part of the video, like the ending, you're trying to think about what you want to play, Shade or Iran. Chances are Shade is a better pick. Now I'll give you the reason why Shader is a better pick. Not only does Shade give you a better Legion block, it gives you crit damage Legion block, so it makes your whole account much stronger just having that Shade. It has a 1-minute burst timer, so it's better as a boss meal than Iran because it has a shorter cooldown burst, and it has really, really good survivability, and it's easier to play. So I would highly recommend Shade over Iran for most people. Unless you just really like Iran specifically, then go for it. Anyways, if you got to this part of the video, the ending of the video, I want to say thank you for watching, first of all, and I want you to type the word hyper. I want you to type the word hyper because we're talking about hyper burning, and it'll let me know that you got to the end of the video and you're the GOAT for that. Obviously, subscribe if you haven't already. We're so close to 20k subs. Really does help me out. Share the video if you can. And maybe this helped you pick a better hyperburn. Let me know what you guys are going to be hyperburning in the comments below. I do read all of them. Pull up to the Twitch so you can see what I hyperburn. And I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Thank you so much to my members, Blazefire, Shooms, Shagad, Ravi Espa, Koga, Pico Near, Skittles, Dante Victory, CK, J, Blunt Poppy Supreme Oil Backwards, and Uju. I appreciate you guys so much. And thank you to everybody who submitted fan art. It is so wonderful to see. If you ever want to submit anything, there's a fan art channel in my Discord. And thank you guys so much for watching.